Welcome, Empire fans, to a special podcast tonight. We're talking with head coach Brian Cross of the Columbus Bishop Reedy Silver Knights. Coach, thanks for taking our call this evening. And it's always exciting to talk to another coach who has made it to the playoffs. Talk about your season of how you guys got to this point so far.
Well, at the beginning of the year, we weren't sure, how good we were going to be. We lost several kids that left our school, so we had a lot of new guys. We had an experienced offensive line coming back, but we had to replace our running backs and our wide receivers, and we just weren't sure how good we were going to be. And we started off the season kind of rough with a tough loss to Academy. They beat us pretty good, but we saw some things in that game that we felt that showed us that we could be competitive with everybody else we played, and our running game started to pick up. We developed a young running back, and he actually rushed for 1,500 yards this year, and our defense got better each week, and because of that, we were able to win 7 games, and it was enough to get us into the playoffs.
Coach, for some of the fans down here, could you give me a little information to kind of share with us tonight about exactly where might your school be located and some of the history behind Columbus Bishop Reedy?
Okay, yeah, our school is on the west side of Columbus. We are, I don't know if anybody's heard of Franklin Heights High School, but we're about a mile from them. And, the history of Bishop Reedy, I've only been there for 4 years, so I'm not a historian of Bishop Reedy football, but I coached at Grove City for 16 years, and we're pretty close to Bishop Reedy. And during that time, they made the playoffs. It seemed like at least about every other year for those 16 years I was at Grove City, and this is my 4th year. So 5 years ago, Bishop Reedy was a Division VI school, and they made it all the way to the state semifinals, and they lost to Kirtland. I think it was on the last play of the game. They lost on a field goal. So they have a very rich tradition in athletics, and football has been very, very solid for a long time. We've been there. My staff's been there for 4 years, and this is our second appearance in the playoffs. And I think that it's a very rich tradition in football, and has always been a very solid football program.
Coach, who are some exciting players from your team that we can look forward to as you guys come down to Ed Miller Stadium?
Well, Jack Foley is our tailback, and Jack's a small guy. He's about 5'6", probably 135 pounds, but he's rushed for just under 1,500 yards, and he has done an excellent job carrying the ball for us. Jay Sean Norris is a wide receiver for us. He's our leading receiver with, I think, 29 or 30 catches. And he's a guy that has good speed and good hands for us. And our offensive line has been solid all year long. We start, I think, 4 seniors on that line. Our tight end is Ryan Wood. I'll probably forget some of the names, but our entire offensive line has just been solid for us. We have a young man named Baum playing our center. Our right guard is Ryan Spoon. Our right tackle is a young man with the last name of Gallion. And our left guard is a young man with the name of Omame. He's a 6'1", 270-pound guard. Is really a good offensive lineman, and he also plays defense for us. And then Cade Canner is our starting left tackle. He's our biggest lineman at about 6'4", about 240. We're just a bunch of good high school football players. I don't think there's a Division I player on our football team. We might have, 1 or 2 guys that are Division II or III players, but just good high school football players.
Coach, when you look at Wheelersburg, what is some of the things that you look at and say, this is what we got to handle when we come down to knock off the Pirates?
Well, there's a lot of things you got to handle when you play Wheelersburg. They're first of all and foremost, they're a very well-coached football team. both offensively and defensively. They do a great job scheming, and their offense is extremely talented, and they do a great job making you defend the entire field, both vertically and horizontally. They've got a lot of playmakers, not just one, not just two. They got 4 or 5 guys that can take it to the house on any given play. I think their quarterback is their leader. Sometimes when you face a quarterback that's just a thrower or just a runner, you can find ways to scheme and design things to slow him down. But this young man both runs and throws the football, and that makes it extremely tough. Number 2, their big wide receiver, the 6'6" wide receiver. He's got great hands, great speed. And I don't know them all by names, but number 4 and number 10, those guys are good wide receivers. I think number 32 plays some tight end, and number 30. All those kids catch the ball extremely well. They all run good routes, and they really keep you off balance running and throwing the football. They got a young man in the backfield, number 29, that can take it to the house on any given play. So offensively, they're a handful without a doubt. And then you go on the other side of the ball and you watch them on defense. And the thing that I admire most about them is they play with great toughness, great quickness, great physicality, and their scheme is solid. They're always moving. They're not an overly big team, but they run to the football as good as anybody we've played. Fortunately, I think we've played some people that have prepared us for this type of team. We played Bishop Hartley, who is a very good football team and is very physical and runs very well. And we played Columbus Whitehall, who's I think they finished the year 7-3, and they made the Division II playoffs. They had great quickness and great physicality. So I think we've been prepared for the type of team we're going to play, but Wheelersburg, they haven't won 35 straight regular season games for any other reason besides they're well coached and they're one heck of a football team.
Coach, we appreciate you taking your time. Any final thoughts? Have you ever been down to Ed Miller Stadium?
I was down there last Friday night and watched them play Portsmouth West, and boy, what a supportive community they have. I mean, I bet everybody in the town comes to the game. It was rocking last Friday night. It was a good football game for a half, and then I think Wheelersburg kind of warmed down in the second half. 2 good football teams going at it, and a great community supporting them, and the facilities are, they're first class all the way. It's a great place, and at Bishop Reedy, we've played in some great places, so we're used to that type of environment. But I don't know if we're used to playing this good of a football team. I mean, I'm not. I mean, they're that good. They're that talented. We'll have to play our best football game, and we're looking for that opportunity to come down and play our best football this season.
Coach, we are excited to have you guys down. Hopefully, it's a great game, injury-free, and we look forward to it. I appreciate your time.
Thank you much. Have a great evening.
Thank you. That's head coach Brian Cross with the Columbus Bishop Reedy Silver Knights, as Wheelersburg will take on the Columbus Bishop Reedy Silver Knights this Friday at 7 o'clock at Ed Miller Stadium.